minutes if people call me bitter for saying this. But let's talk about the fact that as a 2023-2024 graduate, why I have applied to thousands of fucking scholarships, but the only people who are getting the scholarships are the fucking rich people! The fucking rich people!
I'm having a day. Or I'm having a life. I don't know, man. I just don't know what to do anymore. I'm sitting outside work, crying my eyes out in my vehicle. Because I can't function anymore. Financially, I don't understand anymore. I don't understand how I make $34 an hour and I can't function. I can't function. I can't pay my bills. I can't even literally keep gas in my car to get to work 3 days a week because I can't afford it. Like, I get paid and it goes to car, mortgage, a couple little bills, and then maybe $80 in food for the week. And I literally only buy groceries when my daughter's home now. On the weeks that she goes with her dad, which is Monday to Monday, what I've started doing is I buy a loaf of rye bread, and I work really hard to keep that one loaf of rye bread lasting me the whole week, and I eat peanut butter. So I'll eat peanut butter toast whenever I'm hungry. And it's been fine. It's been working just fine. I'm good with that. That's fine. But last week, I guess I was a little extra hungry a couple days, so I had toast in the morning and toast in the evening, which that's not in my budget. So I ran out of bread on like the Thursday, or even the Friday, I don't know. Either way, at 47, I had to see if my mother could buy me a loaf of bread so that I could eat for the weekend before my daughter got home. Because if there's any food in the house, I'm not feeding one bit of it. I'm saving everything I can for her. Because then she gets home and she's not surviving off of. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching from. Welcome back to my YouTube space. I am the Kenyan Beast. Of course, we are doing it the African way. Now, the video we are going to react today is about white people and now knowing exactly what black people are going through. White people are breaking into tears because what's affecting black people is affecting them too. They knew this, but how it was designed, how the system was designed was to make sure that the minds of most of the white brothers, they don't see this. The minds of our most white and black brothers, they didn't know, or they didn't take this into serious until right now. Some of them, it has affected them massively, and now they are realizing it. I want you to watch this video and then we go react on it.
Right, I am someone who's worked my arse off from the age of 17, went to university, did a degree, got a job in my field, and I've been working that job in my field for about 5 years now. If you've spent the majority of your life working for somebody else, you should just get a decent life. You shouldn't have to struggle to put food on your table. People should be able to do the basic things such as put their heating on in winter. People actually die because they can't put the heating on in winter and get serious health conditions. Living a decent basic human life to a life of luxury where you have expendable income. And don't get me wrong, I believe the harder you work, you should be rewarded for it. But the problem is a lot of people aren't rewarded for it, they're just kind of taken advantage of.
Housing prices have been skyrocketing. Inflation has been skyrocketing. At the same time, wages are stagnant. If you compare shopping today and 5 years ago, the difference is huge. It's hard to even believe the inflation numbers that the government releases because it doesn't match up with the wallet.
I think I'm hallucinating right now because this can't be real. What I'm seeing can't be real. There is no way. There is no way.
Okay, things in this country are just going too far. Inflation is out of control. I can't even afford my rent anymore. They want me to go back into the office, and that's just going to take more time and money away from me. I can't keep doing this. I think we actually need to do something about this. Maybe a strike or something. Hey, guys, guess what? What? Aliens exist. Yeah, we actually have some of them. Pretty cool. Pretty crazy, huh? Yeah. Okay, but what about rent? No, that was supposed to distract you.
Okay, excuse the absolute fucking state of me, but this is real life. This country is on its fucking arse. How they are expecting people to be able to afford to live is beyond me right now. So just to give you a little idea, by the way, I know I am not by any means the worse off right now. I am a single parent. And when I say single parent, I mean living on my own with 2 children. I am lucky that I have the other parent who helps provide things for me, which is why I'm saying I know there are people that are in worse off situations. I am trying to keep a home. I am working full time. I'm sorry, I'm getting really emotional about this today. Whew. I am working 40 hours a week to provide for my kids. I get bare minimum help from the government. I am making what I would class as a really fucking good wage. And about 95% of that is getting paid on bills. I have so many fucking bills to pay. And honestly, we're just surviving and like barely fucking surviving. I have rent, I have council tax, I have car payments, I have the cost of the kids. How are people supposed to survive like this? Because every single fucking morning, every day, I'm waking up going, right, what have I got to pay next? What have I got to pay next? And constantly looking back and forth at my bank, checking how much money I've got left. And usually, about 2 weeks before the month's ending, I'm fucked. I'm absolutely fucked.
Minimum wage should be at least $20 an hour. Let's do some basic math. $20 an hour at 40 hours a week. That's $800. Let's say they take out of your check $160. Yeah, let's say like roughly about 20% between like your taxes and if you have insurance. That leaves you with $640. Let's multiply that by 4. That's $2,560. The average person right now is paying anywhere from $1,000 to $1,600. Some people pay more in rent. You still have to pay your light bill. If you have cable, you got to pay your cable bill. If you have insurance on your car, cell phone bill, and then if you have any debt. Oh, and let's not forget groceries, because you got to eat, and your gas money. At $20 an hour is barely enough. People should not be forced to have a roommate to survive.
At the end of the day, minimum wage is minimum skill. So they will raise everything if they make it to $20 per hour. Like, I'm just saying.
Stop asking me to go places that require me to pull out my debit card and spend money, cause bitch, I'm broke.
I just left the grocery store, and I never enjoy going to the grocery store because I hate spending money. And to me, food's just something you ingest and then it's gone, so it's a waste of money. But I left pretty disturbed today. My husband and I were the only 2 at home. Granted, my kids and their husbands come over for lunch on Sundays, but our grocery bill should not be astronomical because it's just the 2 of us. Guys, I do not even want to tell you how much my groceries were today. So I'm sitting here in my car literally flabbergasted. How are families surviving right now? Families on a fixed income, single moms, single parents, grandparents raising their grandchildren. How are they surviving with inflation the way that it is? I'm seriously worried, and it's a serious question. How are families surviving?
How do some of y'all have $27,000 in credit card debt?
Pre-pandemic, my husband and I would have about $2,000 on our credit cards at any given time, and it was mostly like extras, right? So like, oh, we're gonna go out to eat, we'll put it on the credit card, or like, oh, we're gonna go to a concert, we'll put it on the credit card, back when a concert could be $60, $80. Our monthly payments were about $100 a month, and it really didn't make or break us. Then the pandemic happened, and my husband lost his salary, and while we were like making less money, everything has become incrementally more expensive. I had a baby and wasn't able to go back to work for a year. So I was putting basically all of our groceries, all of our gas, all of our necessities onto credit cards because you can't pay rent with a credit card. So we would have to use his paychecks for rent and anything else that couldn't be put on a credit card, and then we'd put everything else on the credit cards. I grew up very comfortably middle class, so I do tend to think that like spending money on things like a dance class or like experiences is normal, but I've like completely walked that back since everything's become so expensive. Like truly, we have not done anything outside of just pay for our needs. But we are $30,000 worth in debt from the credit cards. They've turned into loans, and they're about $1,200 a month that we're paying off.
Here is another comment. So glad I was taught to never put anything on a credit card that you cannot afford to pay off. Good girl. The problem now is people cannot afford rent, grocery, gas. Some people have no choice. Damn, I feel you, man. Life is rough out there.
I'm seriously worried, and it's a serious question. How are families surviving?
Okay, that original video I filmed 6 months ago. And y'all, I am even more speechless today after leaving the grocery store. I thought prices were ridiculous then. I just left with only things for my lunch for this coming week at school and something for my family to have for lunch today after church. And it was $75. I seriously do not know how much more the general working population can take with this inflation and the rising cost of food. We have to have food to survive. What is going on? When is this going to end? How are people surviving right now?
So I love how our government doesn't even care to hide their corruption anymore. Like specifically with this whole TikTok ban that was just passed, I love how they decided to just slide it into a bill where we're going to send even more billions of dollars to Ukraine. Like how completely stupid is that? At this point, they're so confident that we won't do anything about anything that there's no point in even them trying to hide their bullshit anymore. Hey, here's an idea. If you're so concerned about our safety, why not, I don't know, maybe do a little better to secure the border? Or how about bring down our living costs such as housing, gas, and groceries? Or maybe, just maybe, you crack down on corporate greed so we can raise wages and build up our middle class again so we can actually feel like anything we do is of worth. They don't care about our problems or our struggles. They don't care that costs keep going up while wages stay the same. They don't care that mega corporations are buying up all the homes in this country, which is preventing my generation or any other future generations from ever having the ability to be homeowners ourselves. They don't care about the fact that our education system has completely collapsed and teachers are quitting in droves. They don't care that most of us are out here having to work 2 or 3 jobs just to make ends meet and still not be able to afford basic rights like food or housing. They don't care about any of that. But what do they care about? TikTok. That's their priority. TikTok and sending more of your tax money to foreign countries. Our government doesn't even care to hide their corruption anymore.
Why would they hide what's already been seen? If more of y'all read into history, y'all would know that what the US government is currently doing, they've done for centuries in broad daylight. A lot of people are working their asses off at jobs where they're being paid next to nothing and can barely survive. That exact same thing happened to enslaved people in this country during slavery. A lot of us live in or come from cities that we can no longer afford to live in, therefore we have to move to an entirely different city or state where we can find a decent living situation. The exact same thing happened to Native Americans, especially during the Trail of Tears. TikTok, of all things in this country, has been banned, but this country has had a history of banning frivolous things, i.e. drums, to prevent slaves from communicating with each other to plan rebellions. Hint, hint. A lot of y'all have to live off tips, the same thing that black people had to work for during the 50s and 60s because businesses did not want to pay black people what they were worth. That's why when black and brown people try to tell you about our history or relationship with the US, listen, because the same thing will happen to you. The United States is not a country, it's a business that will step over you if needed.
I don't give 2 shits if people call me bitter for saying this. But let's talk about the fact that as a 2023-2024 graduate, why I have applied to thousands of fucking scholarships, but the only people who are getting the scholarships are the fucking rich people! The fucking rich people!
You want to know who doesn't feel bad for you? An uncomfortable number of black people. You heard that right. See, I made a video with talking about how I get joy when I see white people crying from policies that hurt them, because those same policies those same policies were used on black people first. They target black people. We are always the what you call it, canary in the mines. Everything you have to complain about, they came for us first. But when they came for us, you never complained. Every millennial, every Gen Z, all of you, everything you have to complain about today, your parents had the chance to stop it. Your parents said absolutely nothing. They were happy, actually. They were very happy because it meant that those policies meant that black people could not compete with them. It meant that now they knew that there was a class of people that were going to be permanently beneath them. They didn't change the laws. They didn't want it changed. This one is not even generational. This is a couple years ago. They wanted to come for colleges. They got that model minority. The Asians are always the model minority. Whenever they want to dismantle any law put in place to stop black people from being fucked, they always use Asians. And Asians are always proud to be the face of white supremacy. Wait, why did I have to say white supremacy? I'm sorry, I take that back. In my life, I have never seen a horse, the best horse. I've never seen the best horse cheat. Let's start calling it what it is, white inferiority. So when they decided to come for us, it was just a couple years ago. We got up, we tried to fight it. You said, no, affirmative action, you're not worthy, you don't deserve this, blah, blah, blah. We told you what was going to happen. They're not going to give you these spots. They just want to take it away from us. You said no. Now you're watching the rich white children. Now, I said it in my other video. Now that the rich whites have taken over, you poor whites, you're in the mud with us. So from now on, everybody watching this, when you see any policy being put into place and you see black people say no, if you see any policy trying to be cut off and you see black people say no, you better fucking jump on board. Because if you don't, your children will suffer. You will suffer. You have no choice but to ally with us now.
What does the American government think is going to happen if rent prices continue to increase and our salaries are not increasing with it? Genuinely, what do they think is going to happen? I truly don't understand not doing rent caps. I know that's a thing in New York, but I'm from the South. I've never heard of such a thing down here. I only hear about it in New York. That needs to be instituted nationwide, and it needs to be by state, by square footage of the apartment, how many bedrooms, has it been updated, things like that. Because the thing that doesn't make sense to me is I'm in the same apartment for years. You're not changing my carpet, you're not painting any walls in here, you're not giving me new appliances, and you're increasing the price of staying here every year, but nothing is changing. Like, I would totally respect it if you renovated my place and made it luxury and then increased the price. I would get that. I would respect it, but nothing has changed and you're increasing the price on me. I don't understand, because eventually now I'm lucky that I have been in a place that has been increasing for the past 5 years that I've been here, but it has not increased outrageously. And I believe that is because of when I started living here and the fact that I stayed with them. They're choosing not to raise it outrageously. What happens if I continue to stay here 10 years from now? Is this same apartment going to be $5,000 a month, even though nothing in here has changed? Like, what do people expect to happen? Like, of course, people are going to go out and search for a cheaper place, and they're going to move out of your place. And eventually, if you skyrocket your prices enough, no one is going to live there at all. No one is going to live there because it's not going to be affordable. So what do people think is going to happen when you continue to increase the prices of these things and no one's salary or nothing about the place is changing? Like, it sounds like a rhetorical question, but is there actually a business person, someone out there who knows the logic behind this and knows, like, this is the end goal? What the heck is going on?
Here is one comment. They asked for 3 times the rent the first time, but don't ask for income when they raise it. Oh my god, That's such a good point.
These politicians have lost the fucking plot, because what do you mean retire at 70? I didn't even want to retire at 65. We understand that our life expectancy is like 77. If we retire at 65, we have maybe 10 good years, not even good years, like 10 years of us declining mentally and physically, that we're not working, we're not laboring for someone else. If we can't even retire, our generation won't get Social Security. We don't even have pensions anymore. What is the benefit of working until 70? We can't afford homes. We're all living at home with our fucking parents, not because we want to, but because we have no other choice. And you're telling us, vote for me, I'll make you work until you're 70? You've lost the plot. No, I would rather chew glass than work until I'm 70. It's not happening. What did I immigrate to this country for? What American dream? I did everything right. I went to college. I got a job. I work full fucking time. And my salary is decent. I should be able to live decently with my salary without having 3 fucking side gigs. Oh my god, no, y'all have lost the plot. I'm not working till 7.
Welcome back. This is a compilation of videos of white people breaking into tears because of being affected by a lot of things that were affecting black people. Black people all along were complaining, but they were not be taken serious because still the whites brothers had not feel the depth of what's happening. A number of things that's affecting black people and white people, both of them. I'm going to mention it here. And there's a video, one professor said that America is designed for the rich only. And the rich created this narrative to tell them that some set of group are the one who are causing these problems. Now, a lot of white people are growing up knowing that the problems is coming from this set of group. Little do they know that it is a setup for the rich people to continue being rich in America. So America is set for the rich and not for the people who are at least a low class. Now, black people have been struggling with these issues for a long time. These issues now is not doesn't know borders. The consequences doesn't know borders. It's affecting people of all races, including white people. Now, when you talk about economic inequality, you have seen on this video some of the whites are crying, are crying out because it's affecting them too. It is something for all race. It's not that white people or white race are happy while black race are unhappy. No, it's affecting all of them. We have seen a lady here crying. She cannot afford even food only. Now, systematic issue or system with economic race or economic inequality come with systematic issues. Simply because the economic disparities, these economic issues affect black communities, but a society with white inequality often experiences lower economic growth and less stability overall. This is on the black communities. Black communities are so much affected with economic or with economic inequalities because the segregation, the discrimination, the white race are getting this, black are not getting this. It has been not same in the race of black community, but again it has an impact to white race because poor economy policies, inadequate wages and lack of access to affordable health care and education can also harm low-income white families. We have white families that have low income, same as black families. All are caught in this mess. We can say that this mess is created for the black people, but no, it affects even the white people who have the low income. It affects the white people who have low wages because rich people does not care. There's a video, on this video I've seen some saying that even education is for the rich. The one who are getting these bursaries and everything is for the rich people. When you talk about struggles that black people have been going through that's affecting the white race too, is criminal justice system. When you talk about black, over-policing and mass incarceration targets black individuals, but the criminal justice system's flaws affect everyone, including racial profiling, high incarceration cost, and mistrust of law enforcement. This one too has the impact on white people. Mislocation of resources and a punitive rather than rehabilitative system lead to high taxes and less effective legal system for all. These affect all the races. It's not for the black people only. When we say black people have been complaining all along, or white people, or white race, white brothers and sisters did not know about this until it started affecting them one-on-one. Healthcare issues. In a systematic issue, black communities often face worse health outcomes due to systematic barriers, but these in effect affect the overall healthcare system quality and accessibility. Now, impact to white people is that limited access to affordable care, hospital closure, and underserved areas and public health crisis impact all racial groups. For a long time, black communities have been complaining about health issues, about health disparities. Black people have been getting few or have been less attentive on this matter of health. But right now, it's affecting both of them. Education inequality. When you see the video here, a young lady was crying, saying that he was trying to get education, but even the money given out is only for the rich people. So even those low income white brothers and sisters cannot afford quality education because it's more expensive, and the money given out by the government to help in this education is going for the rich people. When you talk about education on black people, schools in predominantly black neighborhood often have fewer resources due to funding disparities. Impact on white people is that education funding inequalities and underinvestment in public schools harm the entire education system. As long as black people are being affected with this education system, having less infrastructure or having less resources in their neighborhood, of course, it happens to white brothers and sisters, while poor education system affect both of them. Another thing is racial tension and social division. This racism and inequalities foster social tension, protest, and unrest, which affects cohesion and economic stabilities within black communities. Now, on white people, political polarization, economic disruption, and diminishing trust in institutions affect everyone. I know you understand that. The tension between black communities can affect to white people or white race progress. It is go hand in hand. Workplace discrimination and culture polarization, these two affect both of them. When you talk about workplace discrimination, we talk about bias in hiring and promotion limit opportunities for black individuals, undermining their diversity. Impact to white people is that these biases can lead to workplaces that are less innovative and competitive simply because they are not bringing the mind. Maybe the brains that needs to work there is from a black community but cannot be brought there because of that discrimination. Now it affects both of them. White people or black people, black race in general, have been complaining about this all the time, but America has been silent on this, or most of the white countries has been silent of this. Now, white people have been listening to their leaders about this. White people have been reading this history, and they have been just closing their ears, not knowing or not saying anything about it until it touches you. When you are rich in America, well and good, but when you are poor in America, it doesn't matter whether you're black or you are white. This issue affects each and every race, and that's why at the end of the video we say this: we are all one, we all bleed same blood. The issue of discrimination, we need to do away with this at this generation. The coming generation must not have this issue of discrimination, segregation, racism, and everything. We need to be equal, because we as black people are better than white people, and white people are better than us on some parts, some things. So they may be better on this and we are better on that. They may be better on the other system, we may be better on the other system. When you see black person or when you see black community crying and condemning, protesting against some things, you as my white brothers and sisters, don't just keep quiet. Don't just ignore, because even if you are not affected with it right now, it is coming to your door, because America is being designed for the few. Tell me what you think on the comment section about, have you been affected? If you are a white person watching my video, have you been affected by these things that is happening? Have you been affected by the things that black people are complaining about? Tell me what is your experience on this comment section. I am the Kenyan Beast. Until next episode, peace be with you.